Brothers and sisters, throughout history, people have made up myths and superstitious beliefs. Most of them are attached to religious beliefs so they can become more believable, especially the people who wanted to rule other people. It happened with the Babylonians. It's attached to culture or personal beliefs. From the so-called Greek gods Thor and Zeus, to zodiac signs, to burning witches, knocking on wood, human sacrifices to gods and idols, to giving special holiness to certain people such as emperors, sultans, caliphs, priests, monks, or imams, to worshipping prophets, shrines and saints, to beliefs about God being like a human and walking the earth, giving holiness to animals, rocks, water, charms, amulets, special stones, angel numbers, believing black cats are a bad omen or bad luck, or cats bring angels to the house and scare off the devils, to believing that looking in the mirror at night is bad luck, to throwing water over the shoulder is bad luck or good luck, walking under a ladder, the number 13, Friday the 13th, to giving holiness or superstitious beliefs to naturally occurring things such as the eclipse. They put holiness to the eclipse, which the Prophet, peace be upon him, said when his son Ibrahim died and he buried him. An eclipse happened on the same day, and people looked up and thought that there's something divine between the eclipse and the death of the Prophet's son. The Prophet ﷺ made sure he corrected them and didn't let them go astray and said, "O people, my son has died, and the eclipse is a natural phenomena which God makes happen in order to show us His magnificence and His signs, and there is a reason and a purpose why He did it. It has no attachment to a prophet or any man or any divinity." Also, when they believe, for example, in disease outbreaks, when you can't make sense to it, they try to attach something divine or some sense of it as they wish. Like, for example, COVID-19, when it happened, if you remember, people started making up, thinking that it's some form of apocalyptic divine punishment upon mankind and everyone, or a sign of the Dajjal. And people associated so many superstitious beliefs and conspiracy theories to it, when all of it was an occurrence that had happened, which has happened before. Islam has always dealt with this. To the belief in karma and reincarnation, and I can't believe that even some Muslims think that Islam believes in karma. I don't think they even understand what karma is. We can come back to that. To the belief of the spirits of our dead families visiting us and roaming around us at home and around the places. Some people believe on Eid they come out. That's Halloween, brothers and sisters. Don't believe in it. To believing in psychics and psychic powers, palm readers, tarot readers, or going to a fortune teller, or a religious figure to predict your future, to believing in certain rituals that they have healing powers, and so they avoid proper medication and going for treatment with real professional doctors. They believe in rituals and things like that. The list goes on, and it is endless, my brothers and sisters. These were all mankind, and Islam has eradicated that, so let us not fall into it, inshallah. These myths, brothers and sisters, and superstitions are so embedded in human beings and in history that you will find a professor who is a physicist, for example, and a scientist who would normally reject every irrational claim of any other belief, but they will believe in the most bizarre superstitious beliefs that goes against every rationale and every logic and reasoning. For example, a medical student who passes his or her exam and graduates as, let's say, a neurologist, would believe that the type of pen he or she used is the reason why they passed the exam. Why? Just because. Something inside of us tells us you've got to connect to something beyond us. It's true. That is a fitra. Fitra means a natural inclination. You want to connect to some higher power. But why connect to a pen or to a feather or to a dream catcher or to a coin or to a little stone or to a little piece of something that your grandmother left behind and you think this is holy or something spiritual about it? No. These are made up things, turning you away from Allah. My dear brothers and sisters, you also have people who make so many false claims about Islam which are not true or they are misleading, but Muslims themselves even have fallen into many misconceptions about their beliefs, thinking it's true. And this is based on ignorance or culture or what they've been taught, or based on some bias or prejudice, beliefs they just want, and stubbornness. There are Muslims that way. So I'm here to talk to you about superstitions and myths among the Muslim communities. I'm not going to talk about what non-Muslims think about Islam. I'm going to talk about what Muslims are doing that have crept into our religion that don't know are going astray. And many of them, I think this will answer why when you make dua, when you pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you do these things, it's not working much for some people, because the objective and the way you're doing it and the beliefs are mixed. Brothers and sisters, as I told you, Islam is a religion that tells us and a way of life to think, to ponder, to reflect, to reason. And just one very quick example so that people don't ask. Some people might say, well, you Muslims, you talk about not believing in superstitious or supernatural beliefs. Well, here you are, talking about an invisible God. Isn't that supernatural? We say, yes, it is supernatural, and of course it has to be. Because if it wasn't supernatural, then God would be within His creation, and He is created. I can't rely on a created thing. He is bound by laws, and He is bound and controlled. How could the one being controlled everything? How the one being within His creation create everything and be bound by it? It doesn't make sense either. And that is why science is not the place to look for proving God. Science can only prove what is tangible, what moves, how the world works, how the universe works, what is with us right now. They can't prove anything beyond that. They can't talk to you about aesthetics and feelings and beliefs and morals, for example. They certainly can't talk about God.